thing. I started out in the living room doing my thing, and then my mom's just like, "Yo," she let me move the computer up into my room. And then it was over. Like it was a wrap. I painted I painted my room red. I got myself some blue lights, and like the Martian was like created. The Martian was born in a sense.
Let's talk about
Um,
that. What is the Martian? What does that mean? I mean, I know that to
so
you that's everything, but what is the Martian?
yeah, like the original Martian. I just wanted to be different. Um, I always felt like I rapped different. People back then, especially when I became more known to the public, more so in like 2008. Well, yeah, 2008, 2009, and then by the time I dropped Life's Better in 3D, like 2010, people would say, "Oh, like he raps different, he's offbeat or something like that," right? So I was just like, "Well, I'm a Martian, like I'm different. I got a different flow." And for me, it's not necessarily like, "Oh, I'm from Mars," like, I'm not from this world. I kind of want to go back to like an original thinking, right? So for me, my name at the time was Lil Sane, right? So I dropped a few records. I did my first show 2008 street it was Street Vibes. Uh Preach put that on with Head and Hands and some other groups. So I did
Respect.
my first show as Lil Sane, right? So I had that sane element, right? Sanity, right? Always. And I came from a reggae conscious background, so there's all no matter at the end of the day, like there's always got to be some kind of sanity, some kind of message to my music. So by the time 2008 came around, I was in transition. um yeah, I was transitioning into a whole different area of my life, also religion wise too. I started learning more about like Islam. I didn't realize like Salah and family, they were Muslims, right? From Trinidad. They were Christians converted into Islam. So I was gaining a bit of knowledge from them on that. And I was like, okay, certain things seem interested, and I gravitated towards that, right? Um, so that kind of played a part in my name change to Hussein. But instead of spelling it like Arabs do, I kept the same element, and I just added the WHO, right? And if you see on my other records, whatnot, you'll see the Hussein at Talib, right? So the at Talib was kind of like my Islamic name that I chose, Jamal at Talib. At Talib being the seeker of truth, right? Because I felt as though ever since I was like 10 and I was scared, I was scarred in church, right? Like I've always been looking for the truth, right? In a sense. So I made that my name. So by the time I came out as Hussein, right? It's, who's sane? I used to spell it or write it out as like a question, who's sane, right? So I'm gonna like showcase myself. I'm gonna showcase art in a different way. It might be different to you, but it's the way I feel. It's original to me. I've always done like original music apart from the remixes I done. Um, yeah, Ski actually sent Elon Ski. He sent me a folder of like beats, right, and they were all like original beats. So I used whichever beats I liked from that folder, and that's how I like created my first mixtape for 2010. I dropped the name Hussein, and yeah, for me it was basically Mars represents uh, it stands for My Art Reflects Sane. So after my following album or project, I named it My Art Reflects Sane Mars, right? So when I'm saying I'm from Mars, like I'm showcasing me, I'm showcasing my talent, my perspective or my ideas, the way I live, or whatever messages I gotta say, whatever downloads is coming to me. Like this is me, this is my art, you know. If you don't enjoy it, that's okay. It doesn't have to be for you, but it's a reflection of me. It's a reflection of Sane, you know? They used to call me Sane, like for short, you know? Um, yeah. So yeah, man. That's basically who the Martian was, and just having the conscious background from the reggae growing up, um I didn't feel as though, you know, there was too much consciousness in like the mainstream. So if there's anything that I was doing that sounded a bit mainstream, I wanted it to have a different message to it, or an actual message to it, as opposed to, you know, just have fun or whatever narrative was needed to be pushed at certain times, you know.
That's fair enough. I mean, I appreciate that. I like the fact that you put that level of effort into your branding. Like, I don't think people know how hard it is to like create a character like that, to create this whole
Yeah.
universe that you're a part of, that you can commit to. And when I listened to your flow, I did notice it was different. I don't know how else to describe it.
Hmm.
It wasn't off. It was different. And
Yeah.
at first time you
I
hear it, you're like, "Yo, that stands out."
So, you know, for me, I called it the steel pan flow. Like, you know, forget what anyone's saying. Like, I've played like crazy runs in steel pans, you know, where I'm playing like 16 notes, 30-second notes, and there's even times where it's like, you know, 64s. But it's like, if I know I can make it fit within time. It might sound off time, but I know, you know, how to construct it or whatnot.
I know.
You know, there could be records where I didn't take the time to really perfect it, you know, so it might sound off, but I know that the steel pan flow, as I call it, like it's all within time, because timing was the first thing I had to master in steel pan, right? I played the bass and I'm keeping the time.
Nah, I
So,
totally hear what you're
yeah.
saying. Because to me, it wasn't like it was off. I never felt that,
Mm,
but it felt like different. Like you kind
yeah.
of like you do what you want with it, and I feel like that's more the element of it. Like your shit lands
Hmm.
where it needs to. But I guess that you say it, yeah, you almost take like a more flexible approach to the first part of like your bar, let's say, and then kind of get
Hmm.
loosey with it. I like that. That's
Yeah.
and I hear what you're saying though, because like music is math fundamentally. So if the equation lands, the equation lands. But maybe not everybody is accustomed to all the different equations that exist to make everything land up right. Like most music is in four by
Hmm.
four timing, and that's just like one part. You know, like there's other time signatures. There's all sorts of other things that happen with it. So I fuss with what you're saying, and I like the fact that you can describe it like that because it helps. I think it helps people look at flow in a different way, maybe,
Mm.
and look at it that like, yo, just because maybe you don't understand the flow, doesn't mean it's not derived from some specific musical thing that maybe you're just not privy to, which I liked. That's dope too.